People deluded. Aaron Ramsey officially completes his move to Juventus. I say this because while I haven't seen an official announcement to Juventus on the Juventus website or by anyone connected with the club, same goes for Arsenal, the club he's departing. David Ornstein's come out and tweeted like an hour or so ago or whenever that Aaron Ramsey's today signed his deal for Juventus. Now, the specifics of the deal, I can't lie, it's a good move for him, man. Obviously, we know he's going to the Italian champions, and they're going to, not only are they expected to win that, they're expected to compete for European honours. It's a bigger club than us. It's a club competing at this stage in his career. He doesn't need to be part of a rebuild at Arsenal, which if you look at our squad, would take 2 or 3 years, in which you're looking at he's going to be in his early 30s, winding down in his career. So it's a good move. We all know he was offered a contract. We don't need to get into the specifics. We know initially he wanted to stay. In my opinion, it's no fault of his own. He did whatever happened with the club. It's deemed it's time to move on. And when life gives you lemons, you get some very good lemonade. Freshly grown Italian lemonade. He's got a 4-year deal, 28 years of age, 4-year deal. So what will be 32 or so. He signed. Obviously, I don't think he's motivated by money more so than we all are, because we need it to survive. But you've got to be realistic. A footballer's career is short. He's had some injuries as well. He's been playing at Arsenal since he's 17, and these things don't last forever. So to get what I saw is for a basic salary of 400,000 a week. Again, I think the way Italian wages is a bit different, but that's what Ornstein said. It's a great move at this stage in his career, on top of joining a competitive side. Not too sure what that means for a couple of the Juventus players, because no disrespect to Aaron Ramsey, just at basic team dynamics, ironically, Ozil's deal did affect this. If you're in the Juventus thingy, no disrespect to Aaron Ramsey, but if you're Pjanic, regardless of your opinions, Dybala and maybe a couple others, you're thinking, all right, cool. And again, I don't know their wages, but you must be thinking, all right, cool, I need to get on the phone to my agent, or someone needs to give me a new deal. And this isn't to say they're motivated by money or anything. This is just how the dynamics of football work. For me, of course, it's sad for me. I'm sad to see him go. Is what I meant to say. It's upsetting, man, because we know Ramsey at times it's looked like it would be best to depart the club. At times he's looked like the future. So we've all been back and forth. Me, you lot know me. I've always liked him. I'd have loved from pure sentiment value reasons as well. I would have loved Wilshere to stay at the club, but that's not necessarily deluded thinking gap on. And of course, the same logic goes for Ramsey. I'm tied to the player. When you think about Arsenal nowadays, you think of Ramsey as someone you would have probably been looking at to be a captain. Ironically, I think Unai Emery named him as captain. Did say he'd be a key part of the team as well, but we don't need to go into specifics. He's someone that you think would be a captain, or someone that would be central to the plans and things like that. I'm not saying he's the best player in the world and all of these things, because I think a lot of people, myself included, we're looking at Aaron Ramsey right now with a bit of rose tints. It hasn't all been easy. I mean, just 2 seasons ago, we were blasting him and Xhaka for failing to track runners at Anfield when they smoked us in the blue kit. But on large, Aaron Ramsey's been a wonderful servant to this club, man. He scored, not only we know he's popped up in vital moments, and he's been an absolute professional, even in spite of this. He's leaving. We've been knowing he's leaving to Juventus, and wherever we've known since how long now he's going to depart. Haven't seen a dip in his performances. In fact, you've probably seen an uptake despite playing a bit part role. Not the best of stats in terms of goals, but he's chipped in with a lot of assists, and his performances, especially in the big games, he's been one that can leave it with a sense of pride, especially the Spurs one. He's been a loyal servant to this club, man. I mean, what can I say? 3 FA Cups. For me personally, I've seen him score some wonderful finishes. He scored a couple decent ones against Spurs. We can't forget the Norwich one. We actually can't forget, I think the keeper could have done better, but one against United at home. There might have been a couple there. Can't forget Galatasaray. Obviously, the FA Cup final goals. There's been a couple more. I'm sure there's been a couple more. Everton at home a couple of seasons ago, he scored some good finishes, man, and I admire him because he's come a long way. I know he actually hasn't been easy as for Ramsey, and there was a time before his injury people thought he wasn't good enough and couldn't cut the mustard. He scored a banger against Liverpool at home as well one time. What was it, 2013, one of them years. Probably my favourite one. So he's been a loyal servant, man, to the club, and he's come a long way. And like I said, man, what can I say? He's handled himself professional, hasn't let it drop. So far, to my knowledge, at least in the public eye, hasn't had a bad thing to say about the club, has handled himself professionally, has been nothing but yeah, wore the badge with pride. So how can you have anything bad to say about a man who's done that? I salute him. He's joined a competitive club. He's securing his family's financial future. Not to talk about a man's family, but he's a young man himself. We need to remember he's only 28 years of age. If we remove that from football, he's only 28. He's very young essentially. I'm 23. He's 28. So he's only a couple of years older than me. He's not that old, so yeah, he's secured for the next. He's lived in London. We need to remember he left Cardiff as a teenager. He's lived in a busy town like London. I know Cardiff can get busy, but I'm pretty sure it's completely different from London. So he's gone from there. He's grown up here. He's got his young family and things like that. It's a chance to have a new taste of sort of life, because I do think where he'll be around. I think Italy. I haven't been there, but I assume the region of Juventus, it's got a bit of everything. It's probably got aspects of London where it's busy and the sightseeing, and it's got bits of peacefulness and tranquility. And he's bringing up a young family now. He's had the twins. I think he's got another young one as well. So that's a new walk of life for them. They can grow up in an Italian school, learning the language, because what you have to assume he's going to be there for 4 years. They'll learn the language, grow up there, learn the cuisine, and just when he looks back and when his kids grow up and stuff, they can say, yeah, I grew up in Italy. Or he can say for his career, had a fantastic career at Arsenal, obviously didn't win the league, go to Juventus, you assume he's won FA Cups at Arsenal, don't get twisted, been a loyal servant and them things, goes to Juventus, you assume he's going to win the league and probably several Italian Cup competitions. Champions League is probably on the agenda for Juventus. Whether they can do it is a different story. And then obviously he's been at Cardiff as well, which we need to remember he's a Cardiff fan. That's probably his dream in itself. His biggest accomplishment of being a professional footballer, represented his country. When he looks back, he's had a fantastic career. Like, he's had a top career. So yeah, man, what can you say? It's a good move, man. At least he ain't joined no rivals like Alexis. And, well, as an Arsenal fan, you can probably name about 11 of players that have ironically left to join rivals, and some have come back to haunt us. Ironically, Alexis Sanchez finally at home in the FA Cup. But what can I say, man? Like I said, by the time this video comes out, there'll probably be official confirmation, or I'd assume there would be if Ornstein's tweeting it, and I haven't seen anything from Juventus or Arsenal, so I'd assume they're preparing their statements or dotting the I's and crossing the T's sort of thing. But yeah, also have to big up his agent as well, because that's a good move, to be fair with you. Obviously, the fact that he's a free agent makes Juventus probably have a bit more leeway and a bit more generosity to him in terms of finances. But if we look at it as non-biased as it is, that's fantastic. That's what your agent is paid for. If we remove Arsenal and Juventus, he's 28 years of age. Regardless of someone's ability, excluding the elite bracket of players, you're thinking, is that a financial risk? Ramsey's had he's had the major injuries, and he's had some hamstring injuries here and there, ironically this year as well. Clubs might be looking at that as that's a risk and things like that. So to get 400k a week basic salary and probably bonuses and stuff like that, secure down is a last big move in his career, secure down the next significant chapter of his life, because again, he's got a young family in a good country. That's what your agent gets paid to do, to be fair with you. And again, he's joining one of the top four, probably Juventus, Barca, Madrid. They're the top three most competitive sides. Maybe you lot will say what you want to say about the stature of the clubs, and then, well, you can't really, but like the competitiveness of the club, especially Madrid with the way their results have been. But they're the clubs you're looking at in the Champions League. Bayern Munich and PSG, of course. So top 5 club in Europe, and one of the top 5 contenders year in, year out for the Champions League. Obviously, you've got City and them things there in recent years, but you get the point. What more can I say? But good luck, Aaron Ramsey. Hopefully it ends in a good season for Arsenal at least. Let's not forget, you've still got a couple months here. Hopefully it ends with us possibly getting top 4, and I'd love to get top 4 and you're in Europa League. I'd take either. If both happen, or if either happens, another case. And ironically, I'm a bit pessimistic on either people. But yeah, man, I've spoken enough. So on that note, I'm going to get out of you lot's hair, man. I've done enough talking and bored you lot already. People, thank you for sticking with me and watching. It means a lot. Deluded. Comment, subscribe, like the vid. I'm out.